Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So according to ESPN, David Carmo has been emerged as a transfer target for Manchester United. Now David Carmo plays for Braga and he's currently a centre half, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to sign a left centre half. Now David Carmo broke into Braga's first team back in January, and since then he has made 23 appearances. He has got a contract with Braga until 2025. He is only the age of 21. Now it does mention during the summer that Fiorentina were interested in him, and so too were Roma, but none of them clubs put a bid in for him. Now I think he won the European Championship for the under-19s. For us to get David Carmo, we must sell either Phil Jones or Marcus Rojo. So would you take him at Manchester United? Now I want to delve into some news on Dayot Upamecano. Obviously, he's another centre-half that's been on our agenda. He's obviously available for around £40 million at the end of the season, because that's when his release clause does become active. Dayot Upamecano signed a new deal with Leipzig until 2023. That obviously removed his £45 million release clause. But we've got to hurry up, because according to The Athletic, he is Liverpool's top target now, Dayot Upamecano. Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk out with a serious injury. I think he's going to be out for the season. Liverpool have also got Joe Gomez out with a serious injury. And in the summer, they let Dejan Lovren go. So they've only got one centre-half available, and that is Joel Matip. So this is the main explanation why they are now in for Dayot Upamecano. He's a very, very good centre-half, and I'd definitely take him at Manchester United. I think he'd go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire. Obviously, Kalidou Koulibaly, he's been in our agenda as well. So there you go. Now, I want to delve into some more news on Cristiano Ronaldo. So, according to the Manchester Evening News, Manchester United have no plans to re-sign Cristiano Ronaldo, despite recent reports. It's recently said that Manchester United made a formal offer to Cristiano Ronaldo's agent, Jorge Mendes. And it says that Juventus are determined to sell him if Juventus don't win the Champions League. Now, a few days ago now, Fox Sports journalist Christian Martin, he said that Man United were in talks over bringing Cristiano Ronaldo back to the football club. It also does mention that PSG have been interested. There was a rumour the other day about Ronaldo going to PSG. and Neymar going to Juventus. It also mentions that Wolves are interested in him, surprisingly. Troy Deeney, I think, did say he would be the right kind of player for Wolves. I don't think Ronaldo will come back to Manchester United. I'd love him to come back to the football club, despite the fact that he's 35. Because Ronaldo did endure 6 years with us. He was at the club from 2003 to 2009. During his time with us, he won 3 Premier Leagues. He won the Champions League. He also won the FIFA Club World Cup. And he also won the FA Cup, Ronaldo. And he scored 118 goals in 292 games in all competitions. At the time we got him, we paid just £12 million for him from Sporting Lisbon, because Ronaldo began his footballing career at Sporting Lisbon. We let him go in 2009. We sold him for £80 million. He went to Real Madrid, and Ronaldo enjoyed a good 9 or 10 years with Real Madrid, and he scored over 400 goals for them in all competitions. Juventus did buy him in 2018 for £100 million. He scored 71 goals in 94 games for Juventus in all competitions. He's on around £28 million a year, so that equates to around £540,000 a week. Next summer, he'll only have 1 year left on his contract with Juventus. Ronaldo is regarded as one of the best players in the world. He's won 30 trophies in his playing career. He's obviously won 5 Ballon d'Ors as well. So there you go. But like I said, I would definitely take him back at Manchester United. Now, can Manchester United finish in the top 4 this season? And can we win a trophy this season? Now, obviously, we've enjoyed a pretty poor start to the season. We're sitting 14th in the Premier League, and we've only registered 10 points from our opening 7 games in the league. But there's still a long way to go. We've not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. It is our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. Now, I definitely want us to finish in the top 4, so obviously we can get into the Champions League again for next season. I obviously want us to win a trophy, because we've not yet won a trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. Ed Woodward insists that Manchester United are absolutely committed to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Woodward confirmed this on a statement. And like I've said, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been backed enough as Manchester United manager. Wasn't backed enough during the summer transfer window. None of our managers, have been backed enough. Moyes wasn't backed enough. Van Gaal wasn't backed enough. Mourinho wasn't backed enough. And Solskjaer's not been backed enough. But I'm hoping, we can win something this season. I think we could win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. I don't see us winning the Premier League. I think we are at least a few years off from winning that. I don't see us winning the Champions League either. I really, really don't. We have had many ups and downs this season, haven't we? Like I've mentioned on my recent videos, we've had some good results, but we've also had some poor results. The poor results were the 3-1 loss to Crystal Palace on the opening day of the season. The 6-1 hammering against Tottenham. The 1-0 loss against Arsenal the other week. and the 2-1 loss to Istanbul Basaksehir in the Champions League group stage. Now, the good results that we've had, we beaten we beaten PSG and RB Leipzig in the Champions League group stage. We recently beat Everton by 3-1. That was a good result against Everton. Reflect on that result though, not all of the pressure's eased off Ollie. Some of the pressure would have eased off him, but going into that Everton game, he was under serious pressure at the football club. If we hadn't have beaten Everton, then I think he would have been sacked as Manchester United manager, to be honest with you. But I think Solskjaer's staying at Manchester United now, reflects on what Woodward has said. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino has been linked with a managerial role at Manchester United. He has been the favourite to take over. Don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to take over after Jose Mourinho got sacked. It recently said that Mauricio Pochettino has been watching Manchester United, Man City and Chelsea. I don't think he knows yet where his next job's going to be. David Ornstein from The Athletic recently said that he's not close to taking a job, but he's ready to return to management. Pochettino made that clear the other week on Monday Night Football. Pochettino said that, he is missing football, obviously. He has been managerless now for like a year. Pochettino. We've obviously been looking at Massimiliano Allegri and Julian Nagelsmann. They've been two alternatives to Pochettino. But, it probably wouldn't really solve a lot sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I've said, not all of the blame stems from Ole, does it? I don't think he's good enough for Manchester United. I hate to say it, but I've got to be honest. Because Solskjaer hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He did win a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but Molde aren't a big club, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. He enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff, and he ended up getting them relegated, didn't he? But Solskjaer was a great player for the club. I can't take that away from him. He's a club legend. And I think reflecting on him being a club legend, our board have softened their stance on him, because I think if we'd have had any other manager, they would have been sacked by now. Ollie has got a contract with a football club until 2022, hasn't he? And he's been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. I think we did make a mistake by giving him the job permanently. The main explanation we gave him the job permanently, though, was reflect on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the temporary boss. But we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent, But this is his second full season at the football club. He's managed over 100 games for Manchester United in all competitions since he got appointed in. Now, I credit Solskjaer for what he did last season, because last season he did get us third. He got us qualification for the Champions League, and he also guided us to 3 semi-finals. And you wouldn't have thought we'd have finished third in that last season, with how poor we was at the first part of last season. At the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. At that point, Ollie was close to getting sacked by the club. But don't forget, last season went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions. Was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League, and 2 Crystal Palace beating us on the opening day this season. I like the way that Ole has promoted the youth. He's made some good signings since he became Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the football club. And don't forget, Solskjaer, when he first came in, he was inheriting a lot of deadwood. And he's still inheriting some deadwood now. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. There's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, still one player from the Moyes era, and I think there's only a couple of players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So, yeah, there you go. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended into the football club, you know. But we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, have we? We're not known as a sacking football club, despite the fact that we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left. You know, we sacked Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho, didn't we? But in the last 7 years, it's been more or less the same at Manchester United. You know, we haven't only had different managers with different philosophies. You know, we've spent nearly £1 billion on players. We've recruited over 30 odd players since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, we've had a lot of problems with the board for several years. You know, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been and all of that. We've already won 4 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. You know, I haven't won the Premier League title now for around 8 years. The last time I won it was in Ferguson's last season. You know, we are the most successful team in Premier League history. We've won 20 titles. Obviously, 13 of them are Premier League titles. But the vast majority of Manchester United's success came under Ferguson, like I've said time and time again. Because Ferguson won 38 major honours, didn't he? But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the club. But look what he went and accomplished after his first 4 years of not winning anything. So it does take some managers time to settle in. Ferguson enjoyed 27 years with us. Like I've said, no one will replicate his legacy and no one will last as long as he did. Since Ferguson left, we've been inconsistent. Before Ferguson came to the equation, we was inconsistent because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson, we weren't good under Wilf McGuinness, and we certainly weren't good under Frank O'Farrell. We got relegated under Frank O'Farrell back in 1974. Didn't we? Now, it's good that we are making plans for next year. Because next year, like I've said, we're looking to make more signings. I think Man United need a centre-half and a right winger. Obviously, we're looking to offload more players next year because there's still deadwood in the squad, isn't there? We do play West Brom after the international break. That is a game that Manchester United should be winning because West Brom are a poor outfit. They haven't won a game yet in the Premier League this season. West Brom are sitting 18th in the league. So they are in the relegation zone. The last time we played West Brom, we lost 1-0, and that was at Old Trafford a couple of years ago. We also lost them at Old Trafford under the David Moyes era 2-1. West Brom finished second in the Championship last season. That's obviously how they come up to the Premier League. But I think they are going to go straight back down. Their current manager is Slaven Bilic. But yeah, we beat West Brom. That'll be our first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. I think we've got to win probably 5 or 6 games after the international break. For obviously, a lot of pressure to ease off Ollie. That's my own perception. Now, there is players at Manchester United that have really, really impressed me recently. Like I've already gone through with you, I think Marcus Rashford's been very, very impressive. You know, he got an assist against Everton. He was actually, unlucky not to score against Everton because he had some good chances. He also got an hat-trick against RB Leipzig. Second player to score a hat-trick for Man United as a substitute. And he also scored the late winning against Paris. Second time he'd done that. And he scored a couple of goals in the league this season. Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for several years. He recently turned 23, but aspects of his game have improved. His finishing's better, he gets good runs in behind, he's got fantastic genuine pace, and I think he's more effective out wide than he is centrally. That's my own perception. He's got a problem with his shoulder as Marcus Rashford, but I think he still should be available for the game against West Brom. Now, Donnie Van Der Beek, he's also impressed me in the games he has played in, obviously. He's hardly played for Manchester United, Donnie Van Der Beek. You know, he's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club, but he has started our last 2 games in the Champions League. Donnie Van Der Beek recently revealed that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told him to be patient, and he said he'll have to wait for his opportunities. But Donnie Van Der Beek said he would have loved to have played more at Manchester United. You know, paid £40 million to him from Ajax. You know, Van Der Beek signed a 5-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year. He can play in like 3 different roles, and I think Solskjaer's been in the process of trying to figure out his best position. Bruno Fernandez, he's been impressive. Bruno Fernandez is Manchester United's best player. He scored twice against Everton before the international break. He also got an assist. He was very, very poor though in the Istanbul Başakşehir game. He was dispossessed 34 times. That was his worst game in a Manchester United shirt, Bruno Fernandez's. But there's only been a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Analysing the vast majority of the games he's played in, he's been very, very consistent. You know, Bruno Fernandes has endured 9 months now at Manchester United. And the vast majority of his goals have come from the penalty spot. You know, last season he won Premier League Player of the Month twice, and he won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award. We paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon. Fred, he's also really, really impressed me recently. I like the way he's dictated the play. He's been very energetic in the midfield. He's passed the ball well, and he was very, very good against Everton. He was poor against Arsenal the other week because he lost the ball far too many times. But he's improved. We paid big money for Fred. We paid £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred's got a contract with us until 2023. I think Harry Maguire, he's recently rejuvenated himself. Good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles, because Maguire did have early season troubles, didn't he? You know, he had that incident in Greece. He had a few knocks early on in the season, got sent off in one of England's games. I think it was against Denmark. But it hasn't let it affect him. You know, he's just focusing on his football. But really, I've liked Harry Maguire's distribution. I think he showed some good attacking intent. He's been very, very effective in the air. Maguire actually did score in the 4-1 win against Newcastle. He is our current captain. We've got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester. So at the moment, most expensive centre-half in the world. You know, De Gea, he's recently impressed me. He's been good this season. You know, made some good saves. You know, there's been a few games where he hasn't really had much to do. I said De Gea will remain our number 1 this season. You know, this is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a very, very long servant. And Wan-Bissaka, he's impressed me in quite a few games this season. He had a slow start to the season, but he's rejuvenated himself. We've seen some good attacking intent from him. Defensively, he's been quite good. This is his 2nd season at Man United. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. Luke Shaw, I've been impressed with him in the last couple of games. 2 assists in his last 2 games. You know, the negativity regarding Luke Shaw is now out with a hamstring injury. and he's going to be out for up to a month with this injury. So that is definitely a worry. And he sustained a couple of injuries last season, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's endured a good 6 years or so at the football club. I think he had a few injury problems, during his time at Southampton. So, these are the players that have impressed me. I think also too, Juan Mata's been impressive in the games he's played in this season. He was very, very good in both our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton. He was impressive in the Newcastle game. I think he was quite impressive in the game against Chelsea. Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United, but my element of concern about him now, he has lost that yard of pace because he is in his 30s. Now, there's players that have been underperforming, and there's players I've got some reservations about as well. Martial, now he hasn't had a great start to this season, has he? I know that he got a 3-game suspension because he got sent off against Tottenham. He's obviously served now that 3-game suspension, so he's got to get back to his best, because last season Martial was very, very good under Ollie, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era, wasn't he? And Martial's enjoyed over 5 years or so now at the football club. There's a lot of Man United fans saying now that Anthony Martial needs to be dropped and we need to play Edinson Cavani instead. Edinson Cavani's been impressive recently. He came on against Chelsea, almost scored with his first touch. He scored his first goal for Manchester United in the 3-1 win against Everton. We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day. He signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around 220 grand a week. And obviously Edinson Cavani is wearing the number 7 at Manchester United. So I think he needs to start against West Brom. I really, really do. Daniel James, I've got reservations about him. He has been out of form. Doesn't really play a lot now. I think he'll go next year. Leeds United were the ones that were interested in him during the summer. We paid £18 million for Daniel James in June last year. Played him a lot last season. I think from my own perception, Solskjaer overplayed him last season. I think Paul Pogba's definitely being very, very inconsistent. But Paul Pogba's only started 2 of our last 7 games in the league, I think. And I'm expecting Paul Pogba to leave the football club next year, but where will he go? That's the question. Didier Deschamps was recently talking about Paul Pogba. Saying that he cannot be happy at Man United, but obviously being left on the bench and playing out of position. And he said he wants to talk with Paul Pogba over his situation at Old Trafford. You'd have had Jamie Carragher criticising Pogba. Dion Dublin the other week was criticising him. I think a few weeks ago Roy Keane was also criticising Paul Pogba. Don't forget we paid £89 million for him, and we definitely overpaid for him. He's only had a good couple of periods at Manchester United, and I don't think that Paul Pogba was happy that we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. There has been no talks over getting Paul Pogba a long-term contract at the club, has there? Matic, I haven't really been impressed with him in the games he has played in. Matic has obviously now lost his place in the team anyway, so I think we could sell him next year. We paid £40 million for Matic from Chelsea in 2017. Matic has endured over 3 years now at the football club. Victor Lindelof, he's had some good games this season, but I've still got strong reservations about Lindelof. I really, really have. Because he's nowhere near on the same level as Harry Maguire, is he? So yeah, these players that have been underperforming at Manchester United. We have got a few injuries, like I've already said. Luke Shaw's out of hamstring injury. Jesse Lingard's still out of injury, but he's close to returning. But Lingard doesn't get in the team now anyway. He hardly plays, does he, Jesse Lingard? Eric Bailly's out of a muscle injury for a few weeks, and that's my element of concern about Eric Bailly, too injury prone. With Also got Jones out injured not so long ago. He had an operation, like Solskjaer confirmed. So they are the injuries Man United have got. I think Alex Telles will be making his Premier League debut against West Brom after the international break. I think Telles is going to be a very, very good signing for Man United. We paid, was it 15 million euros for him, with add-ons included, and Telles signed a 4-year contract with the club. Telles not so long ago had COVID-19. This is obviously why he hasn't been playing. He did play though in the PSG game in the Champions League, and that was his debut for the club, and I thought he was very, very impressive. I think Brandon Williams could be loaned out now following the arrival of Telles, because Williams is now our third choice left back, isn't he? Don't forget. But Williams was good last season. He played a lot last season, Williams. Obviously, like I said, Luke Shaw was out a few times. That's why Williams was playing. Axel Tuanzebe, don't really have a perception on him at the moment. He's played a few games recently. He was poor against Besiktas, but he was very, very good against PSG. And that game against PSG was his first start in 10 months. But I can give you more of a perception on Tuanzebe as he plays more, obviously. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.